Alright, hello everyone, my name is Shep, welcome back to the Circus, and today you're gonna be watching a tournament best of 3 between Byter and Tongue. So this is the first time where I'm actually, commentating over what other people are doing. It looks like they're about to get ready, so here's Byter's deck. He has lots of options, mostly DOT focused, also some damage teams, not really a lot of defense in terms of prot. So Byter has been around since like 2021 playing Butcher Circus in the tournament, so it would be very interesting to see what he's been doing because I haven't watched him play in a while. And of course we played against Tongue ourselves, and he has these two very defensive protection heavy teams that he loves to bring, and then he has some other interesting ones like Halo and stuff like. So yeah, let's get straight into it, straight into match number 1, and let's see just how this goes. It might be a bit loud, so I'm gonna tune it down a bit. Okay, looks like Tongue does not actually go for his offensive teams. He probably wishes he did, honestly, because it seems that what Byter has here is more of a damage team. Looks like the Mike Field comp, honestly, like really old meta, except the Grave Robber should be in position 3 and just immediately go for the lunge. Looks like she's lunged already. And is just going to Shadow Fate soon, right? It looks like that. But yeah, Tongue's playing the Halo comp, while Byter's playing this very stun-heavy team, very focused on getting like an early lead. Would usually lunge into the Dark Stab, into a finale, and then just having more stuns and more heals than your opponent does. So it's kind of the idea. Wow, this Vestal gets pulled to position 2, and then there's an immediate Shadow Fate, so already the Vestal's in position 1, which is, with 3 characters that move forward, this looks very counterintuitive by Byter to have a Vestal team and not immediately try to get her all the way to the back, right? Now, one thing does go very well for him, which is the fact that he dodges that flare with his Grave Robber. Could have been humongous value for Tongue, but unfortunately he jumped the gun a little bit. Didn't go for the Battle Ballad first. Could have gone for the Battle Ballad. That would have immediately given that Arbalest an extra 20 accuracy, and that would have been able to counter the Grave Robber's dodge and probably get some massive, absolutely massive flare value. You probably wanted to go for the stun before the solo came through, so he could get the stun on the Vessel, not get stunned himself, but now he wouldn't have to deal with that stealth Grave Robber, which, if she goes lunge, it's a one-shot, almost guaranteed, considering the trinkets that she has. And if she goes flashing daggers, it might be a 2-shot if you're quite unlucky. So yeah, now the Vestal probably has to be picked here, because she has a mark on her. That mark is going to run out, but it looks like it's going to be a lunge. The flashing daggers numbers must be insane as well. It's not a one-shot, quite unfortunate. It gets kind of an average roll on that lunge, maybe a bit of on the shorter side, and because there was a mark on that Vestal, she is going to drop to this store now, which is obviously not ideal. She can heal herself, and she does have the healing trinket, so she's probably going to go up a ton of HP, or Byter could really risk it, go for the finale, and pray that he survives the Dark Stab, but I mean, is there really a point in doing that? The only risk is that the Crusader gets a stun off onto his Jester, but that Jester has used solo, so it's pretty unlikely, and such is the way of the Butcher Circus, right? Pretty unlikely, says the Shepherd Doggy, as the gods of the Butcher Circus, meaning the Ring Mommy, laughs in his face and immediately rewards that Crusader with, with a crit stunning blow. Yeah, it's an unfortunate ability that shouldn't even hit getting crits. It's disgusting. It's one of the things that are the most annoying. So yeah, I'm gonna go for a finish him onto that Chester. He's taking a fair bit of damage, but thankfully for Byter here, he does get some counter pressure going, so that bounty counter is going down to 0. Now he's probably going to be faced with a bit of an option, because obviously that enemy Chester is going to go Dark Stab. So you're kind of in a situation here where, well, do I go Finale and get out of harm's way? Or do I risk it with the Dark Stab? And risk it like really hard. But no, Byter ends up going for the finale, because if he didn't get the kill there, he would be really screwed. But now that he got the kill, the mark will go away, and Tongue doesn't really have reach onto the backline apart from his own finale or sniper shots. And as far as we know, sniper shot could take like 3 actions to kill that Jester, and that's not happening because there's a Vessel with Divine Comfort, there's a Crusader with Rally to the Flame, and the Arbalest doesn't really have 3 turns to be shooting here. So Tongue has to get some kills going, and soon. He has to get his finale off as well. and hopefully hope for a crit so he can get a Dirk Stab onto the enemy Jester too. So Byter ends up just going for the comfort here, giving his Vessel some HP, though the Vessel's probably still gonna die, let's be honest. There's most likely going to be a sniper shot into a finale here because Tongue has to equalize. He cannot remain in a situation where he's dealing with 2 healers and one of them being, well, both of them being a stunner as well, and both of them being AoE healers too. Yeah, the Vessel Crusader combo is quite powerful if you have some good characters to set up with them. He's actually gonna decide against it because that Crusader is stunned. So he just goes for the Dirk Stab, and now he can go for the finale because he goes first too, or so he doesn't even have to go for the finale. He can go for the Dirk Stab. Does he get the kill? Yes, he does. That's absolutely huge. He gets the kill on the Vessel without using the finale. Quite risky. That could have failed. Could have backfired quite horribly, but thankfully for Tongue, it does not. And now he's left in quite a bad spot. Oh no. Oh, the Grave Robber gets a dodge. That is so huge. Byter kind of, I'd have to call that a misplay, but one that was saved, really. Saved here because the Grave Robber decides to just be better than everyone else, and with her 55 dodge, she dodges the flare with Battle Ballad, which is really fortunate, but it works, you know? If it's stupid but it works, it ain't stupid, that's what I've been told. So yeah, it goes for Dirk Stab on the Jester, and honestly, I'm not sure if this is gonna work out well for you, because that Jester can get the kill onto your own Jester with the finale here, and then you have to deal with 3 characters, all you only have 2, and I mean, sure, one of them is a Grave Robber that still has 1 Shadow Fade, but I think just a massive flashing daggers there would have caused both of those heroes on Tongue's side to go very low on HP, or at least try putting some pressure onto the Crusader as well, but looks like he decided against it, and oh, that is risky. That is the riskiest move I've ever seen. Tongue might just lose the match on this pick. Oh my god, Tongue, why would you do such a thing? He went for the stun on the Crusader because, oh man, that is disgusting. So the Cloak and Dagger has an extra 10% death blow dealt chance. That's the trinket that the Grave Robber had. It has a 10% death blow dealt chance for the melee skill, so quite lucky that did go through, but indeed it does, it goes through. And this Jester doesn't want to move forward, right? Because if he moves forward, he's gonna get hit with a stunning blow, and his own Crusader is not gonna be able to use the stunning blow. So he really doesn't want to move forward here, so he's kind of left in an odd spot. But now Tongue has to win this 2v3, which isn't impossible, definitely not. His characters are getting a lot of crits. He has a bit more HP than on his Crusader than what Byter's Crusader does, and he decides to go for a stun on the Arbalist here. That probably indicates that he's going to try focusing down the Arbalist rather than the Crusader, and honestly that's fair because the Crusader's at 30 prot at the moment, so it would be quite difficult. He ends up going for the Zealous here, gets a double hit, but no actions are removed. So the Jester either goes for his final action, or the Crusader goes for a heal, but then the Jester drops to their store, and so does the Grave Robber. So honestly, I would bet on the final action, but Byter is gonna decide against it, probably because he wants to keep his Grave Robber out of their store, so she has the plus damage. So even though he loses his Jester here with a turn left on him, which, you know, was at 25% that he'll die, so it is a bit unfortunate. But even though he loses a Jester here on this turn, it should be relatively okay because the Grave Robber hasn't dropped to this store. She still has all of her damage at the moment, and Tongue might try to... goes for the flare, which is just a huge misplay because now you get hit with another stunning blow. Actually, no, it's not that bad because he does land it eventually. Honestly, at this point, that Grave Robber had dodged so many Shadow Fades, or rather so many Illuminating Flares while Shadow Faded that I thought that it would just be impossible to hit, but apparently not. Apparently it is still possible. So Tongue goes ahead and just does it. Brings that Grave Robber out of her stealth, meaning that she doesn't do enough damage to bring the Crusader down to 0, so he's not in that dangerous of a spot. He's in a very dangerous spot, but not that dangerous. Byter is thinking of going for a heal here. He's also thinking whether he should go for a stun or not, and if he goes for the stunning blow, he has a 70% chance. Also, one thing I should mention is that the players are playing so quickly. They are just bam, 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 spamming out moves, and they should take their time, because you have 20 plus seconds on the torch for each action, and these are moments where you really need to think ahead. You need to think like 5 turns ahead, like you would in chess, because the slightest misplay, especially at this stage of the game, at this stage of the championship, will lose you a match, and you do not want to be a match down ever, but especially not at the start of a best of 3. So yeah, that stun ends up failing, I believe, because the Grave Power did drop to 0. Gonna go for the pick, 35% chance of getting the kill, does not get it. The Crusader lives on, and now Tongue is gonna go for the Bola and gets another 25 with that Arbalist. It looks like it's just RNG. It just comes down to RNG, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be a stun now, not a guaranteed chance, but very likely it's a 70. Tongue just got the stun supremacy, even though he was down a stun character. And now it's going to be another ball. Is it another 25? No, this time it will be a 15, but it isn't, so there is still hope. There is still hope for Byter here, because if he gets a kill onto this Crusader, he can perma-stun that Arbol. She does have snuff, so it would be quite difficult, but it could have happened. But now he's gonna get hit with another stun because he decided to risk it a little bit, fairly risk it a little bit, because if he didn't get the kill there, it would probably be too late regardless, by not going for the stun onto that Crusader. So he's most likely just going to die here. He's already down to 40% death resistance. He survived 3. And the final hit brings them to 0-1, so let's go ahead, wait a little bit and see what they bring on for match number 2. Alright, and here we go, straight into a match number 2, or do we? Yes, we do. So yeah, let's get straight into it, and Byter is playing that, that looks like, that's basically Kalashnikov but Flagellant. That is a very aggressive team. I think I have seen Byter play it, actually. I'm pretty sure I saw him play this yesterday or a couple days ago, and that it was quite good indeed. And wow, Tongue is just bringing out his he's bringing out his Cheftress 5, so you know, it's like the one with the Arbals, and he has done a very aggressive setup with that Punish and with that Train of Sorrows on the Flagellant. No Reclaim, no snuff on there. Well, there is snuff on the Arbals, but mostly a very aggressive Flagellant setup, which I'm sure he'll be very happy for once he actually gets to use that Train of Sorrows against Byter's very, very squishy backline. So even though that's the Arbalist had snuff, the Occultist has 2 pull trinkets, not just 1, so he still gets it anyway. And yeah, this is going to be a matchup where Byter just completely outpaces Tongue, and I mean completely. Tongue has a Man-at-Arms and an Arbals, which are mostly for support here, while Byter is full on offense. He's just gonna go ham on it, but Tongue's setup can withstand in a way, because the Flagellant is going to be very difficult to kill naturally. The Arbalist is quite tanky, the Man-at-Arms is very tanky, especially with the setup that he's got. The Abomination does have that repulse, so it won't be easy whatsoever for Byter to actually break through. And the question here, the matter is, can Tongue apply enough pressure before he collapses? That is the real question, and supposedly he shouldn't be able to, because this team should be countered by the DOT and by the stress that Byter is doing. That's more of an anti-damage team that Tongue has there. But with the trinketing and with the abilities on that Flagellant, which are about to go very, very hard, I do believe he went for the command buff. Oh, it hurts. It freaking hurts. Yeah, and it goes for the Rain of Stars. That's already a ton of DOT onto Byter's backline. And how does he deal with it? He does have the Reclaim. He does have the Reclaim to help deal with it. But it's not enough. It's not really enough. And can he afford to push the tempo down? No, he cannot. He pushes the tempo up. He goes for his own Rain of Stars, gets a double crit on it, despite not using any command buffs either himself. And yeah, it looks like it's just Rain of Sorrows spam the match. There's probably... oh, there's gonna be a sniper shot. Okay, Tongue going all in. I think that's a bit of no, I wouldn't say an exaggeration, but a bit of an overstep here, because he would only really have 1 chance of getting the kill. I mean, he wouldn't even have a chance of getting the kill, would he? No, he would have 1 chance, because the Abomination would de-transform, go for a stun there after that, so he would have a 20% chance of getting the kill, which I feel like, you know, you could get it. you could get the kill right there by going for the sniper shot and maybe getting the 20%, but if you don't do that, you've gone down a road where after not getting that 20, your Arbals hasn't been supporting and the 20 didn't happen, so your opponent is actually in a much better spot after taking such a gambit, and unfortunately the gambit doesn't even pay off, so he can't even move forward with it to even have that 20% chance of essentially immediately winning the match. So yeah, there's going to be a guard onto that Arbals because she's eating a bit too much DOT, and you know, but she also doesn't want to get pulled obviously, and after that there's probably going to be a heal onto the Abomination, and the Flagellant's probably taking enough DOT that he can eventually drop a redeem on the Arbal, so Tongue's team here just all of them supporting each other in a very cohesive way while they are still outputting pressure. While Byter's team just has to go hard or go home, that's all he can do. It does have the guards, he does have some heals, I'm not sure exactly what abilities the Occultist has. He's gonna pass, he does not pass in the end. But yeah, this is basically a battle between an unstoppable force and an immovable object, right? It is basically the battle that we have here, and can the unstoppable force actually break through? And it's the question. So yeah, the Flagellant is dropping the Stork here. We'll be able to get a very juicy heal off on everyone, and this match is probably going to be decided more on the health bars, more on the DOT, than the actual stress bars. Even though they're both stress teams, in a way, they all have all this bolster, all this guard, all this anti-stress trinkets that they have, and they're so focused on getting an advantage through the HP bar, through the DOT, that the stress probably isn't going to be what decides this. It might become a factor later down the line, you know, especially considering both of them have a Wretch's Cloak on that Abomination, but really what matters at this point is those health bars and who can sustain them better. So yeah, there's going to be a big heal onto the Abomination as previously expected, which might be met with an Exsanguinate, but there is only one heal on this Flagellant. He doesn't have Redeem, which is really odd to me. He goes for the Exsanguinate, 80% to hit, gets it. I could have failed, and that would have been really bad for Byter. That would have been his tournament chances gone, essentially, because after not getting that kill, he doesn't have another match to step onto and potentially get a comeback. If he loses this one, it's out. It is match point for Tongue. Tongue can still lose this one and be in the tournament. He'll only have to win the next one. So there's going to be a stun onto that dog. That means he's going to be dropping this or very soon. I'm surprised it wasn't the Transform Rage onto the Abomination. That's what I would have done. I mean, you're playing a stress team, you want to go stress, you want to do damage in this situation too, and you have a crit buff already. You can transform, get even more damage, rage that Abomination that doesn't have any prot. That would have been massive. But he decides to go for the stun instead, so the dog is not feeling too well himself. I don't think he's... Actually, I do think he's taking too much DOT here at the moment to actually use his Abomination turn for anything on the offense. So he goes for his Flagellant turn. Has he used the command buff? I believe he has. He used the command buff by like round 2 or 1. And does manage to get the hit onto the Abomination. I think he failed the bleed, he failed the blight, but did get the bleed. Yeah, the bleed has gone down, so that Abomination is not going to be feeling too well himself, but there's no Arbalist to clear that bleed, so you can't really do too much about it. And he goes for a stun here onto that Abomination, but that might just result in a flare coming down, which will get rid of a stun and the daze. And you know, dazes are not as important in a situation like this as they would be against a damage team, but they're still very annoying, so Tongue might just be going for it and then using his Abomination to go for a self-heal or something of the likes, or he might just go for a big heal on the Abomination, pray that he gets a crit for, I don't know, like 24, and just take it from there. But the Arbalist goes selfish. This Arbalist turn is very important. Whatever she does is going to be awesome, basically, and she just does a bit of stress. There was a chance that she would pass, would have felt really bad for Byter at this point in time, and whoever he clicks here will drop to their storage. Is really not ideal. He can try to heal, but he has to heal for at least 13, which is like less than a 50% chance with this Occultist. He has to heal for more than 13 to not immediately drop to their store the next round. So you have to question whether it's worth it at all. And this is like the playstyle that I usually go for. You have characters at their store, well, be aggressive, use their final action, don't let them die with one action up. Going for a heal here would only delay the inevitable at this point, so really what you gotta do is push the tempo and try to break through Tongue. See if there is a way to do just that. But what really concerned me about Byter's team here is that he doesn't have all of his Flagellant healing. And the enemy Flagellant has Punish, he has Reign of Sorrow, so he doesn't have to worry about his other characters dying. He can very well solo carry by the end. And he can very easily solo carry by the end against the Abomination, against the Doggy, and to some extent the Occultist as well. But he cannot solo carry against enemy Flagellant, obviously, because they're kind of like, they counter each other, but because they're both OP, they're both Flagellant, but the enemy Flagellant does not have 5 heals, he only has 3. So he's gonna run out a lot faster than Tongue's Flagellant runs out, and that's not even counting the Men-at-Arms guards and the Arbalest heals. So this team setup for Byter that looks very aggressive, looks very fun, is really gonna be meeting possibly a very brutal reality, which is the enemy Flagellant that just has more heals and has more support. And well, he would have support if Tongue didn't pass his action. I think, I'm not sure if he passed his action in my best of 3 as well, but Tongue is a very nervous person, I can tell. He was very anxious for our best of 3, and that led him to making a couple mistakes. And he, I believe, is very anxious for this best of 3 too. And just getting that pass there really sucks, because he would have whopped the heal onto that Abomination. Would have given him a lot of HP. Would have let him just go for like a manacle stare onto that Doggy. However, you know, all's well that ends well, never punished. Just gets a crit absolution on it, and there is a bit of justice in the Butcher Circus. I mean, not exactly justice, because if someone passes because they were thinking too much, that's their own fault, you know. At least that's just my take on it. If you pass because you're thinking too much, it is your own fault, because, yeah, it's not like, you know, your cat was annoying you too much, and you had to pet it, and then by the time you realize you're playing a Butcher Circus match, it's too late. It's just, you are thinking so hard, you are so lost in your train of thought, and you're looking at so many possibilities, so many avenues of success, that you just end up forgetting about the time itself, which is, you know, just the way the Butcher Circus is, I guess. That's a lot of damage for a Manacles. He goes for it onto the Abomination. He's not even close to this sword because of that crit absolution, so he's perfectly chilling. The Flagellant is good in terms of HP as well. The Man-at-Arms looks like he hasn't even been playing this match. He's a bit stressed out. He's a bit stressed out, but he doesn't really care about it that much. You know, he's seen uncountable horrors through his campaigns, so the Arbal says some mean things to him. He only takes 3 stress. He's unfazed by this. As he eats a crit, but he's still unfazed. He's not even afflicted. He's still 24 points away. Who's completely phased by all this is that Arbalest. She is at the store. She has a lot of horror on her, and if she doesn't start healing, and healing for stuff like crit 22s, she's gonna drop to this store again, have a heart attack, and just be straight up gone. However, you know, with that crit 22, and with the bolster, and with the medic's full plate, and with the guard, it's really difficult to kill her unless you go for some Reign of Sorrows. But Byter is kind of just not really deciding too well who he wants to focus down here. He's going for both the Abomination and for the backline, and I think this gives Tongue some space, basically, because he heals the Arbalest. Now she's fine, and now there's pressure being done onto the Abomination. Sure, he's stunned, maybe he'll die, but has he transformed twice already? I'm not entirely sure. It doesn't matter too much in this situation, because Tongue is really doing more duty damage, so that Abo might be in some difficult waters here. But we'll see what happens if he'll actually get death blowed at this point. So the crit absolution bought him some time, but it might not buy him his life, basically. I do believe the Flagellant will drop to death store now, though, so yes, he does. Crit heals the Arbalest as well, by himself, and also brings that Abomination out of this store, which is awesome. And doesn't go for the heal, goes for the Reign of Sorrows instead, which looks like a very good move, because, you know, I mean, if you get both kills there, you've won, basically, and he did have minus healing skills on him, and it's only a 20% chance that Byter has, with a 25 to get the stun, so very unlikely, right? But if that's, it's the Butcher Circus, you know, if you go for plays like that and they do not work out, it's gonna be really bad for you. But he didn't get a single kill. but he also doesn't get punished too hard. I would not go for your Arbalest Third here. She's selfish, Tongue. She's selfish. Do not go for your Arbalest Third. If you go Redeem here onto the Abomination, it's like you just started the match and Byter's entire team's dying. Dead or dying. But the Abomination says no, he has to go for the Exsanguinate. Does he have the accuracy? He has the accuracy. He has a built-in finisher even. And immediately gets rid of that Abomination. And this is not looking good for Byter. This is really not looking good for Byter. Also, this is an Indian person playing against a Chinese person. This is like a border clash here. It kind of feels like that. I just remembered that Byter is Indian, Tongue is Chinese, so there might be even more pressure between them two. Nah, I'm only teasing, but yeah. That Arbalest is going to be dropping Death's Door. If we get a single pass on the Arbalest, she dies. Well, that's essentially a pass. It's actually helpful for Byter because now he gets to the heal. Oh, that was a very juicy heal actually, but is it enough is the question. Is it enough? He still has the Exsanguinate, he still has a couple of them. The Arbalest is basically dead, by the way. She has enough aura on her that it won't matter. The Flashlight can't heal her, the Men-at-Arms can guard, but it doesn't make a difference. And the Abomination can stun all he wants, he can heal himself all he wants, but it won't matter either. He goes for the Exsanguinate onto the Flashlight, recognizing the real threat here, which is the Flashlight himself, and it is who he is going to have to take down. It's going to be very difficult to take him down. He's probably going to have to do it through the Hellspars, but Hound's Airy, not very good at that job. Weakening Curse, which I think is what Byter has, it'll do a bit of stress, but it's going to be eons before it actually works out. And that Flashlight's at like 45 stress with a bolster, so it's going to be a minute. So Tongue hasn't used his second transformation yet, but he has used both heals. If he goes for Hound's Airy here, he just gets the kill. Doesn't go for the self-heal because he doesn't have to, per se. He doesn't really have to. Gets the stress, actually, from the Arbalest dying to afflict the Man-at-Arms, meaning that no stress is wasted onto him. And this is not looking so good anymore. This is really not looking so good anymore because that Occultist is still out of Death's Door. The Houndmaster might be at Death's Door, but he suffered one Death's Door check, but the Abomination might go for his action soon, but he still has Lick Wounds, he still has his 22 dodge, which, I mean, 22 dodge, it might help against Reign of Sorrows if there is no command buff down, but that's about it. It's not really gonna help too much against the Manacles. Maybe a Rage, maybe a Wild Rage from the Abomination just completely fails, but yeah. He's gonna end up going for the guard here onto that Flagellant, potentially trying to keep him at this door, not exhaust his healing too quickly, so he keeps it for later down the match. But a massive move back from this Houndmaster means that he's basically safe, apart from the Reign of Sorrows obviously. But here's the thing, if the doggy dies, and the doggy really needs to live now, because if he dies, that guard will become very, very overpowered, because the Man-at-Arms has Ransack Cure, only has Numbing Instance, and he has Prot, so he's basically that meme where the other guy with the grey hair is like punching the center, like bam, 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 and does like 0 damage because he's a massive tank. That's what the Man-at-Arms is right now, and that's what Byter will feel like if he does not manage to have a tool to break this guard at the moment. Tongue here goes for the correct move, which is just to Manacles the Occultist, make sure no heal comes down onto that doggy, and he ends up going for the Bell on the Act-Out. He probably wanted to go for the command buff so he'd have guaranteed hit chances against that backline, because that's what he really needs to do here. And while Byter might be able to kill the Abomination here, he really needs to survive a few more death blows with that squishy backline. Will he survive a few more death blows? Ah, the flash on dropping to 0 heals the Abomination too. That's a bit unfortunate. And he will most likely just go for the Reign of Sorrows here. If he survives and there's a Hound's Airy immediate kill, that would leave me dumbfounded. Yeah, I'd be shocked. No way he goes for the heal here. Nah, he goes for the Reign of Sorrows, and he gets 1 kill. But not 2, just 1. Just 1 kill. I believe there is 1 Exsanguinate left on Byter's Flagellant, and he has a chance of getting the kill. I'm not sure what affliction he has, but he has 5 to 9 damage, so it doesn't look too terrible. 35 if he does damage. 35! It's a dodge! Oh, doggy! Oh, what a disgrace. He has the padded arm guard and not the monkey's paw, so he could have another 8 accuracy, but oh, that is saddening though. Not even rolling for the chance of doing damage, they're just dodging. The Flagellant dodge with his 10 dodge. There's going to be an immediate Reign of Sorrows. That's a kill. And that's probably gonna be all she wrote for Byter here. He can go for punish, he might get a crit punish or he might just get a kill anyway, but will it be enough? There is a chance that it will be enough. If this man-at-arms is ridiculously stupid and does something really dumb, such as not guarding, I would have loved to see it, but as all hope would seem lost, he could have gotten something back here for himself. But I mean, it's not lost just yet, right? Because that man-at-arms has actually taken a lot of pressure. He is afflicted, so he's going to be taking more DOT. He still has a lot of horror on him, so there's still a lot that Byter can do here with his final few rounds. And wow, Tongue just goes straight for the punish. If this man-at-arms does something dumb, I don't know what affliction he has. If only I knew what affliction he had. He's not quite dropping the store just yet. Tongue just really biding his time here, probably being more risky than he has to. He could just go for the heal here. He has a huge heal supremacy. He doesn't have to risk it this much, but there might just be a crit punish now onto this man-at-arms, and he might refuse the heal. He might refuse to redeem this turn, and he wouldn't last turn. Oh, there's a punish, but there's no crit, so he's alive still. Yeah, punish but no crit, so he will survive at least for a bit. Drops to death's door. What's his affliction? I still don't know. He passes. I believe he's selfish. Now there is no more guard onto that flagellant, but he's gonna go for the redeem. Does he say no? No, he does not. So the flagellant manages to heal himself, while Byter's own flagellant is dropping to death's door here. So yeah, it looks very dire now. Unfortunately, that affliction could have done a lot more for Byter, but it did not. And now he has to choose whether he wants to go punish or whether he wants to go for the exsanguinate. And honestly, he might win through the stress, so I'd say punish might be a safer move, and he wants to keep the exsanguinate for the enemy flagellant as well. He has to end up going for the... He goes for the man-at-arms. Oh, he misses the exsanguinate. Oh, Byter. Oh, how sad that is. How sad that is to miss the exsanguinate. Now he's at this door, he stays. No healing, no heals left. His entire team is gone. People are leaving the voice already, they're losing hope. And honestly, I believe all hope is lost. Abandon all hope, ye who enter here. And there's a punish coming through, but it's not enough stress. That numbing instance is just way too strong, and Tongue's flagellant still just has so much available to him. I believe he still has at least 2 of his exsanguinates. He still has 1 redeem. Goes for the punish, and that is going to be all she wrote for Byter's journey on this tournament. So yeah, he ends up taking the W. I will play against Sergi tomorrow, so wish me luck on that front. It will be a very interesting match, to say the very least. Big GGs to both players. Hope you all enjoyed today's video, and I'll see you again another time. Cheers.